Should I listen to my feelings or what's inside my head? Should I act on what's inside my heart or analyze it instead? It's hard to know the answers. Guess I never learned the rules through the things they never teach in school.
Right from wrong.
In 1977, I published my first book titled A Family Matter, A Parent's Guide to Homosexuality. Because of the nature of the book, I was sent on an extensive publicity tour around the country. And it was on that tour that I learned the depth of hatred toward gay people. And here's a story from there. Publishers' publicity departments try to get their authors booked on every form of media they can, on the assumption that getting the greatest exposure increases the sale of books. I was booked for 6 or 7 or more appearances a day. In the evening, I would fly to another city, then start all over again in the morning. The tour took me to 14 cities in which I made 128 appearances. The hectic pace is not for the timid, but call-in programs gave me the opportunity to joust with listeners who were opposed to civil rights protections for gay people. The problem was that I knew nothing about many of the programs on which I was scheduled to appear, nor about their hosts. One day I walked into the reception room of a radio station in the South, announced who I was, and sat down. After a few minutes, I sensed that something was wrong. Then I listened to the music. A commercial came on for Jesus Christ, our Savior. The McGraw-Hill publicity department had me, a Jewish faggot from New York, booked on the Southern Baptist radio station. Anyone familiar with anti-Semitic prejudice knows that Jewish faggot and New York are redundant. "I haven't read your book yet," said the host of the program as she introduced herself, adding, "I just want you to know that Anita Bryant is a good friend of mine. We should all be thankful that she's doing God's work. Now I want to ask you something before I agree to interview you." In the 1970s, Anita Bryant, a well-known singer and former Miss America, was the advertising voice for Florida orange juice. She was spearheading a campaign claiming that homosexuals molested children, which was how a child was recruited into gay life. She also accused us of murdering children by swallowing semen, proving that she wasn't the brightest bulb on the block. Bryant and her Baptist cohorts eventually succeeded in forcing a referendum overturning a civil rights ordinance for gay people in Dade County, Florida. Here it comes, I thought. She's going to ask me if I'm queer or whether I think homosexuals molest children. I decided I would not be rude and answer her questions honestly, even if she threw me out afterwards. "I want to know whether you think children should come out." "Yes," I said, resigning myself to being given the heave-ho. "I think children should definitely come out." "Oh, I'm so pleased you said that. Let's go now and record the interview." With my unread book tucked under her arm, she led the way into the studio. I didn't get it. No friend of Anita Bryant, who has a program on the Southern Baptist radio station, could be in favor of homosexuals coming out of the closet. She introduced me to the radio audience and specifically told teenagers to listen to what I had to say. After a few questions, I started to catch on. She meant coming out for Jesus and suppressing your homosexuality. There could not have been a wider gulf between us. I prepared for my 1977 tour of the South by reading all of the prohibitions in the Bible against homosexuality, even memorizing some of Leviticus. Armed with these quotations, I felt prepared to slay the prejudiced Philistines on radio and TV, naively thinking that scholarship, compassion, and logic could break through the impenetrable skin of bigotry. Nothing in my experience, including discrimination for being Jewish, prepared me for the expressions of hatred against gay people I encountered in the South and the Southwest. I think we should do the same thing with you faggots like Hitler did to the Jews. You should all be put in front of a firing squad. You're nothing but scum. Go back to New York. The callers always identify themselves as Christians and foretold that all fags are going to burn in hell. Although fundamentalist Christians claim to love the sinner but not the sin, the fury and hatred in my callers' voices made it quite clear that they hated us.
The things they never teach in school. I read the books